Hey y'all, let's talk cattle panels. Have you ever seen one before? That's what that is. 30 feet back there of cattle panel. My husband built this for my pole beans when we first started this bed. I love it, but you know what? I said this is the year of the tomato, and I'm gonna plant tomatoes by it. I said this is ingenious. I can intertwine them that way, stake them to the cattle panel using yarn, twine. Get on the internet last night, thought I was the most brilliant little thing ever. Everybody and their mother has done this already and videoed it, but I'm still gonna do it this year. So, not my idea, but it's gonna be my first experiment with it, and it saves space growing vertically, y'all, and I have something there that won't take up as much space as 5 million tomato cages, and I don't have to go buy any more or make any more, because there's my tomato cages. I'm gonna stake it right there, but I bet you I'm the first person with a zucchini wall. Check it out. So here's the tomatoes, okay? See how they're spaced out, and you can do this really close. Per the internet, I don't know. I've got all different types of varieties here, and we're gonna see how it does. But what you do is you stake it up here. Now I'm gonna use yarn, twine. That's old vines from the pole beans. See how they just climb up? We just left them there. But there's the tomatoes. Now, all the way down on the other half, I planted zucchini. These are itty bitty transplants from the greenhouse, and I'm gonna try to stake those up the cattle panel too. I'm going to try this. On the other side, all those round circles, I planted squash. I'm gonna have them both going up this cattle panel right here. It's gonna take a lot of pruning, a lot of weeding out in between these, because everything is so close together. But I think this will work, y'all. And let me show you the varieties we have. George, are you talking to him? Are you talking, George? All right, we've got an Atkinson. That's a jelly bean tomato, cherry tomato. Another jelly bean. This right here is an early girl. Somebody is laying an egg, y'all. Early girls, they're great varieties for up north. They produce early. But I have found down here in the south, the early production, it helps beat the heat. And so you get a great product from that. Love them. That over there is a red cherry tomato. Then we have here, let's see, I just spaced them all out. Another jelly bean. We've got Atkinson again. This is an early treat tomato. I really tried with the earlier varieties, and honestly, they look better than the standard, what we would use here in the south. Another early treat. This one's a beefsteak. And then another early girl. And we've got some more on the other side. But see how I spaced those? All the way down. Just back and forth, back and forth. We're going to tie them up these rails here. I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited about the zucchini and squash wall. I think this will work. I really do. Now, let's flip over on this side of the garden. This is my raised bed, by the way. My original raised bed. 3 bell peppers up top, then we start jalapenos all the way down. Got bush beans in the center, 3 rows, squash and zucchini, and then I've got tomatoes on the outside. This other bed, let me show you. Let's walk down here. And at the very end, I have little cucumbers. These are transplants from the greenhouse. I don't know how this is gonna do, but they look good, so I just plopped them in the ground. They've been in the ground 2 days, and no one has failed to thrive, so we will see. Zucchini transplants from the greenhouse. Everything in this bed pretty much is transplants, y'all. I mean, everything. Okay, over here. This bed, let me try to zoom out a little bit. Do you see all that? That's perlite and vermiculite. And honestly, active compost. I don't know if this is gonna work, but so far, everything has survived that I planted in here. And I planted in here at the beginning of the week. So I'm just kind of calling this my junk bed. There's junk all in here. There's cardboard, there's paper, there's leaves. It looks like confetti. There's peat moss, there's potting mix. There's soil, there's pine needles, there's wood logs at the bottom of this. I mean, tons of stuff, and everything seems to be doing great. I've got peppers. Those are bell peppers. That's an Italian pepperoncini pepper. And then we start back with the tomatoes. Those are eggshells I threw at the bottom. I had those after I planted them, so I just chunked them around it and said I'll just water it in and let that be it. I want you to see tomatoes once they get planted. If you start your tomatoes inside, okay, he's leaned over a little bit, that's fine, he was leggy. See the leaves from inside? Now look at how deep green this has gotten. Sometimes plants just need to get outside. I'm gonna take you down here. Jalapeno, another tomato. Look, here's a prime example. Look how deep green this is up here. So if your leaves are yellowing at the bottom, don't worry about that. The top is what you need to worry about. And over time, he'll come on up. But you see, he kind of bent over, but he's pulling back up towards the sun. See that dip? And he's coming up. But I just ran out of cages. And that's why I said, you know what? We're gonna do the cattle panel. I did 2 rows of bush beans. I have no clue if that'll work or not. But that's why I did the cattle panel. I planted tomatoes in our pasture garden, everywhere else. And I said, y'all, I'm going to do this. So I have no clue how this is going to work. But I love the idea of vertical, especially with zucchini and squash, because they take up so much space. This will keep them off the ground. Hopefully, we won't have as much disease with it, like powdery mildew and all that. Tomatoes, I'm just going to use what's here to tie them and stake them. So that's a cattle panel. That's its uses. Pole beans, cucumbers, you could do anything on this, but since it's so long, it's 30 foot total, I wanted to try different things on it. All right, guys, that's what we've got going so far. We're busy. See you next time on Harmon Homestead. Go grow something, y'all.